Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today with me, as always, is the inventor of the infomercial and the original shark on the hit series Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Kevin, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, Seth, thank you. We've got a great guest and a special episode today. Let's have some fun.
Absolutely. Well, we are excited to welcome back a repeat guest, Rudy Mawer, a serial investor and CEO to multiple brands, manages a staff of over 70, runs multiple businesses, including the Marketing Capital Group with Kevin, of course, where he's helped over 50,000 small businesses around the world. Rudy, thanks for coming back.
Pleasure to be here as always. Excited for the show.
Yes. Now, the thing that I know that's new since the last time you were on the show was the launch of your Amazon television show. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Following in Kevin's footsteps. Saw the power of TV, right? And I love to entertain, love to educate, and I felt there's a big gap in that marketplace of content that inspires and educates. So couple of years ago, I really wanted to bring a show to life, and luckily I paired with a studio called Sonic Gods, and we produced over the last couple of years this show called 60 Day Hustle. So it's a 6-week intensive, 12 entrepreneurs, 6 main challenges over 6 episodes to win about $200,000 in prizes.
Congratulations. And let's talk about how the show's been received. We've been riveted watching their journey.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're actually already casting for season 2, which is being filmed in a couple of months' time. So that's always a good start. But yeah, it's 12 beginner entrepreneurs with startup brands. And I think one big goal I had going into it was to show really what entrepreneurship takes, not just the highlights, but like all the struggles, difficulties, challenges, letdowns, failures. And I think we did a good job of that, while also educating the viewership, which is, generally entrepreneur based, people viewing it that want to get into business or are already in business. So got a lot of amazing feedback on the educational element too, which I think is hard to pull off on TV, Yeah.
So the distribution deal with Amazon is cool and interesting because they're getting more aggressive in all their desires. But is that like on demand where you can pick it up, or do they have a time slot? How does that work for those that are listening that may want to watch it on Amazon? What's the process?
Yeah, so it's the way we did this is it went live on a set day, and all the episodes kind of dropped on that day, which is becoming way more popular in the last couple of years with Amazon, Netflix, etc. These what are kind of called mini series, right? Like 6-part series. So that you can go there, stream it. It's on Amazon. It's not, you don't have to pay or anything like that. So you can go on, stream it, watch, binge watch it if you want, all 6 episodes, and then hopefully, soon there'll be a season 2 come in as well.
Awesome.
And then when you had the idea in the first place, did you have a monetization plan, or were you saying, hey, I'm willing to write a big check to pull this off and want to, just get the message out there?
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky. It was kind of like a fun, the model was more funded through brands and sponsorships and partnerships because it was so entrepreneurial focused. So obviously any show you monetize eventually through views, right? Especially if you start getting millions and millions of downloads or streams or views. But we brought in brand partners as well. And there's a great article we can link in the show notes where actually they interview the studio Sonic Gods and they talk about this model, which is becoming way more popular. There's even celebrities. If you look at, I think The Rock's latest Christmas movie, his studio helped fund that. There's a lot of movies where the celebrities are actually funding their own movies now, and brands are starting to fund them because it's not like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, where all the big studios paid for everything. It's changed so much now.
What surprised you about doing the show?
I think I have a newfound respect for like actors and TV. I mean, Kevin, you can talk to this. It's like you're in a studio all day. It's like it's nonstop. You're rehearsing, you're recutting scenes, reshooting scenes. There's a lot of downtime. There was about 28 crew members to film on set in the studio. So every time you do a scene change, it's like, it takes an hour, right? So it's definitely like, it sounds strange, but it's definitely more intense than you'd imagine. And I'm sure filming, if you filmed any sort of TV, you'll know that. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of hours, a lot of work, way more respect for actors and people in TV because it is a grind.
What did you like the best about doing it? I mean, obviously you're going for season 2, so you enjoyed it.
Oh, I loved it all because I love to. To me, like really great TV and movies is kind of like a piece of art. You create something amazing, and then you get, after hundreds of hours of work, you get to see the finished product, right? And I have a very creative brain, like from my offices and my ads and how we build stuff. So I really love to like take this, what starts at a concept, right, in your head at one point, which it was 3 years ago, this challenge-based TV series that I wanted to make. And ironically, I've managed to partner and find a studio that's wanted to do similar. So we really like jive super well there. But it starts with this like speck of an idea in your brain, and then to see it on TV 2 years later and people watching it in their living rooms, like that's a really cool moment, I think. And especially to do it in a way where everyone says it was well produced and great feedback and stuff.
What was your biggest challenge doing the show?
I think biggest challenge definitely was living in Miami and filming in LA every week. And also I'm flying backwards and forwards and running all my businesses. So so I would say that just like, you're in a studio 12 hours a day, 3-4 days a week, 2 days off, where most people they live in LA. So they just have a week, like 2 days off, like a weekend, right? Whereas I'm like the first day off, I'm on a 5-hour flight back to Miami plus time zone. It's basically your whole day is gone. You get back 1 day there and then you fly back again. So that was tough for 3 months straight, 4 months straight.
So Rudy, as you've worked with entrepreneurs and you saw the folks going through their week after week kind of thing, what kind of transformations did you see and just awesome kind of success with entrepreneurship?
Yeah. I won't name names because I don't want to give too much away, but like several of the businesses that made it to the end, one of them made more revenue in the 60 days on the show than the whole of the year before. Most of them had their best month ever. A couple of them made more money in one of our 24-hour challenges I designed than they had made in the whole month before. So a lot of amazing like breakthroughs like that, where they're literally making more revenue in filming the show because it was filmed live 60 days. It's 60-day hustle live 60 days. So most of them made more money in those 60 days than they had the whole of that current year, and some of them more than the whole 12 calendar months before.
Nice. It's great to see entrepreneurs learn and succeed, and kind of like on Shark Tank, they would have in future episodes, they would show, well, here was the guy when he was on the show just getting started, and now he's doing 10 million a year. So, that's what it's all about, right?
And I think what's cool about this too, on top of that, because obviously, and it's a different show, so Shark Tank can't do it, but this also captured all the failures in between, which I think is so important for everyone to see, right?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs look at entrepreneurs and like, oh, they got lucky, their parents were rich, they just, it's easy life, right? But they don't see the IRS, paperwork, the lawsuit, the staff stealing from you, the till midnight, but we got to show some of that. So I think that's needed,
Yeah.
And you had longitude, you had time, right?
Yeah.
It was 60, it isn't 6 years, but it was 60 days, which is a lot more than, let's say, the 30 or 40 minutes we might see on a Shark Tank episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the cool part, is we filmed behind the scenes. They all had vlog cameras to take home and film. And we set them up with challenges where it was designed to showcase like some of the hardships too.
And so one question regarding the types of businesses, did you have like retail businesses as well as digital guys, work from your home businesses? What was the kind of consistency of the kinds of companies that you're talking to and that end up doing well on the show?
Yeah, we tried to keep them all the same. So they were all, your bread and butter, Kevin. They were all physical product businesses. There was one digital product because we did want to show that side of it, because it's such a, as you guys know, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, the info digital world, and most normal people don't realize it. So it was cool to showcase that, because that's where I started selling fitness programs 12 years ago. But all the other 11, and they had physical products as well. And then the other 11 businesses were pure physical products. So, hair, accessories, clothing, candles, that, breakfast cereals, that sort of thing.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah.
I would imagine that renewing for season 2, you've probably got other ideas as well. What's coming down the pipe?
Yeah, I won't give too much away, but lots of great, like more interesting judges, more crazy challenges. And when you take a new TV concept, you kind of have to prove yourself. So your hands are tied a lot more in season 1, because you're trying to keep to the foundations, get it together and over the finish line. I think once you get through season 1, like season 2 and beyond, the world becomes your oyster. So we have a lot more flexibility here. And even just casting, right? We can cast way easier because people can go and watch an example. When we're looking for studios and like filming locations, easier to get more epic places because of you can show them season 1. So yeah, it's going to be bigger and better.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to see it. Are you allowed to tell us when you're casting now? So obviously, an airing is a ways off.
Yeah, officially just casting now. Like it's literally just been announced. So it's filming this year, and then it'll probably be next year, hopefully for release.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to have you back when that launches. Anything else? I'm sure you know that you've got your finger in a million different pies. Anything else going on that you want to talk about?
No, I think this is, this has been great because that's really started to become more my focus. I guess just to add, like, the reason I started to move into this more media content area is I think the old way of marketing and selling has become so saturated since COVID, and COVID accelerated that. So I think whoever's listening and watching this, like, you've got to innovate. You've got to look at what you're doing. It's getting more competitive in most industries. So how can you pivot out of that and create something more unique and stand out? That's kind of what we teach from a branding perspective. That's what I've been doing with this TV and more TV stuff that I'm doing. And I think it's just so important.
Awesome. Well, the show, anything else you want our viewers or listeners to go check out?
I think just, check that out. And I can drop some other links below with other TV and media stuff we've got going on for people that want to get involved.
Awesome. Go check out 60 Day Hustle on Amazon. And as always, check out rudymawer.com for all things red.
Hey, buddy. Great seeing you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Thanks.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.